Good afternoon.
Give me 1 second.
No problem.
I don't think we have the quorum yet.
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you all before. Are we starting now?
Yes, we're ready.
Oh, okay. Um,
Turn this on.
okay, give him 1 second. Do I? I'm sorry, Dr. Love. I'm trying to find
You're good.
my.
Give me send to you again. You got
Yes, please. Yes.
Give me 1 second. I got you. I just send it to you.
Okay.
Oh, everyone had a great day today, hopefully.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Perfect. Well, good afternoon. I think it's noon. Good afternoon. Welcome to Benteen Elementary School's Go Team meeting, where we'll follow the agenda as it has been emailed to you and publicly noticed. We would like to remind everyone that this is a meeting of the Go Team. Only members of the team may participate in the discussion. Any members of the public present are here to quietly observe. And for members of the Go Team, please identify yourself when you speak. I am pleased to call this meeting of Benteen's Go Team to order at 4:12. Our first order of business is roll call, and the secretary will now take roll.
Good evening. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening. So we call Dr. Lovett,
Present.
Jasmine Brasier,
Present.
Johanna Dakotas Smith, Allison Stewart, Mrs. Stewart.
I'm present. Did you get Miss Smith too? Johanna?
No, I didn't get her. Is she here?
Yeah, she's here.
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Courtney Obey, Leah Austin, Milt Thomas,
Here.
Jarvis Buckholz, I know that I'm missing Miss Howie.
Miss Howard's a guest. She's a visitor, not a member of the Go Team. She's visiting.
Okay, visiting. So we are here present for the Go Team meeting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, including myself.
Okay. This team will only be able to take official action if quorum is present. Ms. Romero, is quorum present?
Yes.
There is a quorum present, and we will proceed to the action items.
4:14.
So our first order of business is to approve the agenda. This was provided to you and copies are here. Are there any changes to the agenda? May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda. This is Milt Thomas.
A second?
I second. Joanna Smith.
All in favor all in favor, please say aye so the secretary can record your vote. All opposed, please say nay. Please say abstain. Any abstention? We will review the approved meeting minutes from our last meeting. The minutes have been provided to you. Are there any corrections? If there are no further corrections, may I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes, the previous meeting minutes?
I make a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes.
A second?
I second.
All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions, please say abstain.
Aye.
You gotta give us time to say aye.
Oh, sorry.
All those in favor
All
say aye and raise
opposed,
your
please
hand.
say aye.
Aye.
I was looking for fast reflexes, you know. All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions, please abstain. All right. So our first action item is a uniform. Is our uniform discussion?
No, it's the fill vacant position first.
Okay, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Is my screen still shared? Hold on.
No.
Now can we see?
Yes, we can. All right, so our first order discussion item is action item is to fill vacant positions.
Yes. So we do have one vacant position parent, Carolyn Taylor, Carolyn Filson, who was on the GO team and served on the GO team for a number of years. Her daughter's in middle school, so she's decided to focus her energy and efforts on supporting her in middle school. And so we have to backfill her position. And so principals are given a discretion to nominate someone. So I am nominating Court Riggs. He's the father of a kindergarten and a third grade student here at Benteen. He's a City of Atlanta firefighter, a Benteen family. And he could not be here today, but he also ran for the vacancy when it was available this spring. So I reached out to him. It's like the logical thing to do. He expressed interest and the opportunity presented itself to him. So he is who I would like to present as our parent member for the GO team. So with that, Madam Chair, we need to take a vote.
Okay, all right, so when we're going to the vote, I say all in favor, please say aye.
Made a motion first to accept the
I-
nomination.
Okay, do I hear a motion to accept their nomination?
I'll make a
Make a
motion.
motion to accept.
All in favor, please say
Need a
aye.
second first. Who's
Oh,
second?
we need a second. It has been moved in second.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye so the secretary can record your votes.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions, please say abstain. Now we will move to our second action item to identify meeting for public comments.
All right, so we ended up having to reschedule our last meeting because we didn't have a quorum. And so based upon what we have on the meeting calendar, the only meeting that we have left we can add public comment are the April 30th and March 12th. So we need to pick one of those dates to have public comment to make us. We have to have at least 4 meetings with public comment. So is there a preference for either the 12th or the 30th?
Mhm.
Is there a particular reason where it'd be better to have it on one or the other? In your experience?
Not really. The last meeting is usually like more interview celebratory, like reflecting on closing out the year. If I had a thought, I maybe the 12th, which is the budget approval meeting.
Okay. So you're suggesting the 12th?
I'm indifferent, but I just, that was the rationale. Like the 12th is a budget meeting. The 30th of April is like the last meeting of the year.
Oh, okay.
We won't have a whole lot of things to discuss at that point.
Mm,
That makes
I'm-
sense to me.
Yeah. I'm for the 12th then.
We need a motion for the 12th.
I make a
to-
motion for March 12th.
Yeah.
A second.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussions? All in favor, please say aye.
I
All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions, please abstain. All right. So now we can go to the discussion items. So we, the first topic on our discussion items is the school strategic plan.
Yes, that's me. All right. Good afternoon again, everyone. Y'all can see my screen.
Well, we did. There you
You
go.
see it now?
Now we can see it.
I had
Yeah.
to make sure that it kept me logged in. All right, so the first thing we're going to discuss, this section is the next part of the agenda, which talks about strategic plan, data discussion, school uniform, principal's report, and these are topics we're going to discuss on the next part of our agenda. So our strategic plan. So our strategic plan is what we use to determine how we will take the funds that we're given, how we will have strategic priorities to help support APS initiatives and priorities, and then what we do to achieve those goals. So you'll see our goals, system grades 3 through 5 will increase the level of proficient and above students by at least 3% on the end of grade ELA Georgia milestones. Same thing for Georgia milestones in mathematics. And then we will increase integration SEL throughout the day between school stakeholders, inclusive of students, staff, parents, and community, is our whole child goal. And so for those who may be new, have not seen this before, the strategic priorities and initiatives, or APS, are right here. So they're broken into 4 categories: fostering academic excellence for all, building a culture of student support, equipping and empowering leaders and staff, and creating a system of school support. Within those, there are subcategories. So particular interests are the top 2, fostering academic excellence for all and building a culture of student support, where we have data, curriculum and instruction, signature programming, whole child intervention, and personalized learning. Those are what we call the APS 5. Those are the 5 areas that we focus our efforts on and making sure that we are getting those things done, because if we do those things well, then the outcomes for students should improve. And so you'll see the priority that we have around what we're doing to address those. Like, for example, under fostering academic excellence, we have increased staff knowledge of math, ELA reading best practices to impact student learning, and increase implementation and intersection of IB, signature programming, and dual language immersion. And then how do we do that? We create instructional frameworks to guide math and ELA reading instruction. We strengthen language development with literacy focused on interactive read alouds and ELA classes. And we reflect and revise IB unit planners after implementation, especially for grades 3 and 4 as the DLI program expands. I should say 3, 4, and 5, but at the time we were not at 5th grade. And so the similar process for these are our goals, these are our priorities, these are our strategies that we're going to use to try to reach those or accomplish those priorities. And so this is also posted on our school website. So if you want to go back at any point in time and do a deeper dive, it is available on the Go Team page under strategic priorities. So you can always see where we are. This is like our roadmap for helping us make decisions that are going to provide the best impact for students. All right, so from those priorities, we do what we call a strategic ranking. So in December of last year, prior to the start of the budget season, we did a strategic plan priority ranking. So we ranked our priorities from highest to lowest. And so the highest priority was focused on student reading and language development. Then we had increased staff knowledge of math, ELA best practices, develop a culture with the emphasis of SEL, increased implementation intersection of IB and DLI, build capacity of staff around ELL learners and strategies and tenets of IB, build a school structure to provide support and opportunities for staff feedback, and professionally develop the staff by providing tailored specific PD based on their collective and individual strengths and weaknesses. That's what we ranked as our priorities for developing our budget last year. And so connecting the strategic plan and the continuous improvement plan. So all Title I schools, all schools have to do what we call a CIP, a continuous improvement plan. This is what our plan or our agreement with the district on what we're going to do to help improve student outcomes at a school. And so we have 3 goals, one around ELA, one around literacy, and one around whole child. And so we've aligned that so it coincides with the district's or the board's guardrails around ELA, literacy, and numeracy. And so this is just an example of one where it says increase staff knowledge of math and ELA reading best practices to support student learning. That's a priority that we had on the previous 2 slides. The CIP goal, the CIP SMART goals that goes with that is by 2025 in May, we will increase percent students scoring proficient and above on ELA integrated assessments by 3%, from 29% to 32% in 2025. And then by 2025, we'll increase percent students scoring proficient and above on math by 3%, from 28% to 31%. And then a key indicator of how do we make sure that those things are going to happen. We have weekly data and instructional planning periods for teachers. We review lesson plans, implement the coaching cycle. We work to plan, coach, model, co-teach with teachers, common assessments, universal screeners, and monitoring of map data. So example of what it looks like, we take the plan, the SIP with the SMART goals, and the things we do to make sure those things are going to become reality. Which leads to our conversation around data. So in the spring, all winter spring, we take the MAP, NWA MAP assessment. And so this just gives you a snapshot of MAP from the spring of last year. And so blue is the beginning category, orange is the developing category, yellow proficient category, and the green is distinguished category. This is our MAP reading for grades 3, 4, and 5. And it's broken up like this because it kind of mirrors what the Georgia milestones looks like in terms of the score categories: beginning, developing, proficient, and distinguished. And so you see, we still have a lot of kids still in the beginning category for reading, but we're working on those strategies that we talked about on the previous slide to help improve those outcomes for kids. Similar thing for math, beginning in blue, developing in orange, proficient in green and yellow, and distinguished in green. And so for the state, they want more students to be in a proficient and above, which means the yellow or the green category. That means you're on grade level and that you are performing at a level that sets you up for success in your future. So you look at our map for the spring for math, our students were performing better than they did for ELA because most of our students are in the developing and above category, and in just about every category, every grade level, they're at least 30% or higher for proficient and above in mathematics. So some good things to celebrate there in terms of MAP results. And so now, on top of that, MAP is district benchmark, district universal screener. But the state, we're federally required to take what we call the Georgia Milestones Assessment. So every school in Georgia, every public school in Georgia, takes the Milestones Assessment in grades 3, 4, and 5 in the areas of ELA, mathematics, and science. And so what you see right now is the Milestones performance for students who score proficient and above for Benteen. And so in 2023, we were at 28.9% for ELA. And last year, we were at 32.5%. For mathematics, we were at 27.8% in 2023. Last year, we were at 35.7%. For science, we were at 21.7%. Last year, we took a dip in science to 11.9%. And we don't take social studies anymore, but this just kind of shows you where we are and how we're performing. So we're moving in the right direction for ELA and mathematics. And we know we have to put some more emphasis and focus on science instruction. So we've done some things this year to help support that performance. All right, so as the data has been presented, are there any questions, any glows or grows that comes to anyone's mind if we think about what you just saw?
Those numbers include both DLI and traditional students, right?
Yes.
Okay.
They do include both DLI and traditional. And interesting enough, the DLI and traditional classes are performing comparably. They're like a little different, but not like a big difference. So we're excited that our traditional program is growing in strength and strong, as well as our DLI program. Any other questions or glows or grows from the data? Do we need to see it again? This is milestones.
The science drop is interesting because it's quite a big drop. So have you thought of any like specific factors that may have caused that?
We thought of a couple of things. One of the things we realized is that last year was the first year where our DLI kids took science as on the standardized assessment. And so we're thinking about how we provide that support, because a lot of the science assessment is reading informational text. But if you're learning in a different language, we have to find the right balance of how do we provide the language acquisition for Spanish, but also to understand the content. So this year we bought a new resource. We invested and purchased a platform called STEM Scopes, which provides a stronger aligned content. It also provides the materials in Spanish. So what was happening was teachers having to go out and try to find something that was in Spanish for science instruction, because the resource we had before didn't provide that. So kind of had a little bit of everything going on, but we have solved the curriculum problem, and now we're working on making sure we are integrating more hands-on learning for science instruction, and also balancing language acquisition, but also make sure that kids aren't losing content understanding because of the language. So we made some changes, not just in 5th grade, but throughout the building, because this represents DLI and traditional for science. That was a smaller cohort last year. I want to say it was 46 students. I don't have the exact number, but so 3 or 4 kids can swing either way. And a lot of the kids, we've done some analysis like the domains where they didn't score the highest, like we double down our efforts for this year. And so we are being more strategic about how we provide that support. We're also using Outteach. I know you all seen the new outdoor garden space, outdoor learning space. So we're targeting, and they're providing support for teachers in grades 3, 4, and 5 around science instruction to make it more hands-on and interactive. Like in the past, we've had the WOW Center who's done more things with the lower grades. So now we're targeting the upper grades. So we're trying to put some more things in place to shore that up, because that is an area of concern. When I saw that, of course, my heart stopped for a minute. But data, it's a snapshot. It tells me we need to make sure we are focusing continually on that area and not neglecting it for reading or ELA or math. Any other blows, grows, or questions?
I think it's great that there's been improvement in ELA and math since 2023. I'm not sure if you just answered, but I don't know if it's a cutoff. Why social studies is only 2 years.
So in 2019, they were concerned about the number of tests that students were taking. And so in elementary school, they took off social studies. So it used to be that when I first started elementary school, grades 3, 4, and 5 took all 4 assessments. It's too much. Little third graders about to die by the 3rd or 4th day of testing, they were over it. So the state went to just 5th grade having to take all 4. And then 2019, the state decided that they would remove one of the assessments. And so they removed social studies, but kept science as the 3rd indicator. And in middle school, 8th grade, they take all 4. So they adding them on in phases. So the kids won't be so burnt out for testing.
Okay. Thank you. So is that information kind of just blended into all the other?
So when it comes to the accountability piece, they reconfigure the weights. And so there are certain points for our ELA performance, certain points for our math performance, and then a smaller piece of the information for our science performance. So it's not equally divided.
Okay.
So ELA math are at least 60%, 60-70%, and the rest of it divided up. But with science process being gone, the numbers change. I want to say it's I don't want to misquote, but it's at least 75%, I believe, for ELA and math when it comes to our CCRPI score that we consider for giving points that way.
Thank you.
Any other questions, wonderings, glows, grows?
When will the testing results for this upcoming year be released at what time?
So this is public knowledge now. This is for spring 2024. We don't take it again until spring of 2025, right. In the month of May. So usually we get results within 20 to 30 days, give or take. And then it's released to the public in June usually. This year we had a delay with mathematics because we have new math standards. And they had to go through and do extra vetting for the standards and the assessment to make sure that results were valid and reliable. All right. So we kind of talked about what we noticed, what are your wonderings, what are some questions? We've kind of gone through those already. So why is this important? So we're on this process. We're at step 4. We are using current data and start reviewing any updates needed for the strategic plan or our priorities. And then what happens before winter break, we will go through and rank the priority that we just viewed here. We'll rank them again to see if this is what we want to keep them ranked for the next budget season, which starts in January. We'll go through and we'll have a discussion about, do we want to keep these things in its exact order? And then we'll vote on it. And then we go into the budget season. When we get the budget allocations, I'll use this ranking to kind of help make sure that we're fulfilling the expectations for the budget based upon our school priority that we were voted on and agreed upon in terms of the ranking. Any questions about anything I've shared so far? I know it was a lot. But it's posted online. So if you want to go back and look at it later on and say, I just have one more question, I want to look at the data a little bit longer and do some more studying of it. It is posted on our website, on our Go Team page, so you have access to it to review at your leisure. All right, so now we have a discussion item. It is about optional school uniform. And so in the 2023-24 school year, the APS Board of Education updated the district's dress code policy. As a part of the update, starting in 25-26, if a school wants to maintain or explore implementing an optional uniform, it must go through an engagement process and have a vote as outlined below. So in elementary school, a uniform is adopted upon the agreement of the principal and a majority vote of the Go Team. If your school currently has a school uniform process and wants to continue, we must go through this process. So we have an optional uniform right now. And so if you want to continue that for next school year, we have to go through this conversation around the optional school uniform process. And so just so you know, the revised policy was revised in June of this year. And the requirements are a top of non-see-through fabric, a bottom of non-see-through fabric, shoes, undergarments that are not visible. And then the restrictions are no words or symbols that are gang-related, sexually suggestive, obscene, or promote illegal behavior, nothing associated with alcohol, illegal drugs, or tobacco, no flip-flops, athletic slides, or footwear that doesn't support the front and the back of the foot. So they've simplified the uniform, and this is what the board voted on or revised or agreed or adopted in June of this year. So one of the reasons they went to this is because there were some school-specific dress codes. So we have one student dress code adopted by the district, but there were some things that were problematic in terms of how students are being judged, or things that are problematic in terms of some school codes, like dressed in good taste. Like, what does that really mean? That's no baggy clothes, no sweatpants, no activewear. So they took a lot of the restrictive pieces out of the uniform, and it's kind of streamlined because sometimes parents have what they have. And so this is why they changed the process because they're kids, they're students, and they want to make sure that they're able to express their individualism. Even at Benteen with our uniform, we know Friday is Fashion Friday, so the kids get a chance to be wear a little different. Plus, we have enough variety in our uniform that we kind of give, you still get to be an individual, not have to wear the same color every day. And so schools may choose to adopt an optional school uniform and effective immediately. At no time will students have their instructional time interrupted or be barred from class or school for declining to wear the optional school uniform. And so we don't do that now anyway. We don't, if you wear the uniform, we're great. We do the uniform pop-up treasure tower to incentivize it for families who want or need uniforms, who can't get them. Our social worker works to provide uniforms through a partner who brings them for us. But we try to make sure we don't punish students for being out of uniform. So in order for us to continue to have an optional uniform, we have to take action. We have to vote on maintaining or exploring and implementing a optional school uniform. After the motion and a second, the GO team must have additional discussion. Once the discussion is concluded, the GO team will vote. If the GO team votes to move forward, then the team should proceed to discuss the school uniform advisory committee. And so we need to have a vote, Madam Chair, on maintaining or exploring implementing an optional school uniform. You're on mute.
All right, do I hear a motion to vote?
When is a good time for questions? I just have a quick question.
So right now we're making a motion just to explore the implementation of optional school uniform. Then we can have discussion around. So it's a two-part process. We'll have a motion to discuss, to explore the implementation of a school uniform, and then we'll have question and conversation, and then we'll have another motion to vote if we want to move forward with the uniform or not.
Got it.
Okay, got it. So is there a motion to maintain and explore implementing an optional school uniform?
I'll make a motion to do that.
A second?
All those in favor? Say aye.
All those in favor, say aye.
Or raise your hand.
Yes. All those opposed, say nay. Any abstentions, please abstain. So the motion has been made and seconded. We will have a brief discussion, share any questions or thoughts you have about maintaining or exploring implementation of an optional school uniform.
So now is a good time for the question?
Yes.
Okay. So my question is, what were the reasons that the school originally decided to have a uniform policy in the first place?
So that predates me. When I got to Benteen, they had the uniform policy in place. And it was a very popular thing that most schools were doing, like trying to encourage uniforms. A lot of parents were asking for just to make it easier for shopping, not having to worry about bullying or concerns about not, having the latest fashions because we all kind of have on the same general thing. But that the decision for Benteen specifically was made before I became principal. But when I got here, I came from a school that had a similar process. And so we kind of continued it. And so parents have been okay with it because at least, we give the free Friday that we have enough spirit days and we also allow people to wear like school spirit wear. Was not wearing the same color, the same top and bottom every day. But that was what we inherited. We just kind of ran with it for the last few years.
So this would basically just continue what we're doing already.
Right. If we decide to go forward, if we decide to go forward with the expiration, we would have to have a uniform advisory committee, which would include members of the GO team as well as I think student representation
Mhm.
to explore the process, get student input as well. And I think there's also time for community input as well. Like so, we would vote to explore, and then we kind of get insight from the community, and then we would move on from there.
Okay. So I just want to be clear. So what were our the optional student uniform we would still maintain the school uniform, but if a student does not have it, they wouldn't be, punished or
Right. And we don't punish anybody now, so if they
right,
come
right,
in with
right.
that uniform on, we don't make a big deal of it. Like,
Mhm.
except for if you have on flip flops or athletic slides or something that doesn't support the front and the back, then we do, try to cause it. Hey, mom, this is not a safe to he or she to wear to school, but we don't hold them out of class for. They may not be, we have to be extra careful when they go to recess or when they go to the gym or for safety reasons. But we don't like, hey, have kids in ISS because they're out of uniform. So we would maintain what we currently do now in terms of if we move forward the optional uniform, families and students who want to wear the uniform, wear the uniform. We can't mandate everyone wear a uniform because again, we're public school.
Mhm.
And so we have that flexibility. So if you don't want to wear a uniform, we're not gonna knock it. We're glad you came to school.
Right. Mm.
Any other discussion? Wonderings? Any thoughts about uniforms?
I love a uniform. It saves me every day. I can't even think about wearing if they wore something different as a parent. So, it's just the ease that I can see. And I think, the school does a great job of providing, additional uniforms for families who might want new or switch it out or even trade it out. So, but I do understand we just want them to come and show up to school is a priority. So,
Yeah.
I agree. The uniforms just make my life as a parent easier in the morning. It's just one less discussion point before 7:45 in the morning. Um, so yeah, I mean, it is nice. I will say my kids are younger, so they don't really care. I can imagine older kids, like fifth graders, fourth graders, maybe that's when they start to have more of an opinion about it. I'm not sure.
They do. And that's what we try to do, like the positive incentive, like the treasure tower. I don't know if you've ever seen the treasure tower. It's like this big tower of like trinkets and things that they can get a token for. And so we try to go in, just kind of pop up and do a random who's in uniform today. Try to, I tell the kids it's coming at any time. You never know whose class is gonna get picked. So we try to keep it so it's worked in terms of more kids are wearing uniform. And I think also having the school spirit store, more people are buying the spirit wear, are able to wear those things to not have to be in the standard polo. Yeah. But there's
Do you
definitely a
have a
difference with even the primary hall going to the intermediate hallway in terms of uniform. It's like, oh,
Yeah, I can imagine. Do you have a sense of, because I guess all schools are having to kind of go through this process of exploring whether or not they want to maintain. I know that Parkside currently has optional uniforms as well, and I'm sure they'll have to go through the same process. And I know that in this part of the city, kids are interacting with kids from other schools a lot, like in the soccer league or the basketball league or whatever. I wonder if you have a sense of how how it's kind of playing out in neighboring schools.
I don't know like in this process right now, but I do know that I think Burgess, Benteen, Parkside, Bamo, and I believe Dunbar have uniform. I'm not 100% sure about Toomer. But I know the majority of our elementary schools, if not all the elementary schools in the Jackson cluster, have some type of optional uniform that we have been utilizing for the last few years. And a lot of our colors are close to each other in terms of like blue and gold. So I don't know in other parts of the city if there's a big. I know maybe some clusters. It's different per cluster. I know most middle schools and high schools have shifted or transitioned from having more of a structured uniform to kind of giving an alignment with the district uniform policy. So they're navigating some of the things that they have different issues that we don't have to deal with at elementary school from the middle and high school kids. But I know there's conversation being held in every elementary school that have their current policy for uniforms.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So at this point, Madam Chair, we could take the vote to decide to either move forward with the optional uniform and to move forward the uniform advisory committee. So we need a motion.
Okay. Trying to read this. Is there a motion to, sorry, I'm on two. Do you all hear an echo?
Nope.
No.
Okay. Well, is there a motion to vote for the optional school uniform?
For the committee?
For the school, yes.
Yeah.
For
I
the
make a
school
motion
uniform.
to do that.
A second?
I second the motion.
All in favor, say aye or raise your hand. All opposed, say nay. Any abstentions, please abstain. All right. Thank
So the
you
motion
for.
carries. All right, so the next thing for us to do is we have to discuss how we'll move forward with establishing a school uniform advisory committee. The advisory committee will be responsible for developing a stakeholder engagement plan, receive feedback on ethnic and uniform and its components, if adopted, must include a minimum 20-day public comment period on any proposed uniform, recommending the optional uniform components, establishing the student voting timeline and process if necessary, determining the time the uniform will be in use for reconsideration, developing a school communication plan to inform the school community about the uniform and if the uniform is adopted, and other objectives as defined by the GO team. Just so we have context, we know what the current uniform policy is and how we presented it on our website. I'm going to pull it up real quick so we can all just see it. There we go, uniforms. That's not the one. Hold on. Of course, because I'm looking for it now. I don't see it. Oh, here we are. Here we are. Do you still see my screen? Okay. So this is what we have on the website now. the different colors: navy blue, light blue, white, yellow, khaki, or navy blue bottoms. Monday through Thursday, strongly encouraged and expected. On Fridays, spirit wear, dress down day, or what we call it Fashion Friday now. But that's what we have presented for families now on our website. And so we would have to determine like what we want to include, khakis, navy blue jeans, short, whatever you want to include. We would have to consider that also the tops or spirit wear. So we have to think about that process for engagement. And then I'm sure the Go Team office will provide for us in the coming meetings more information about how we can develop a plan to communicate it. But that's where we are. And so there's a form. So the committee member will have to determine the Go Team chair will name the committee. No more than 2 additional Go Team members may be on the committee, a maximum of 3 Go Team members. Committee must have 3 students as outlined below. Other committee members may be added as determined by the Go Team. So for elementary school, we do have ambassadors. We have SGA and we have Junior Beta Club members who we can pull from to give ideas or insight about the school uniform process. That would probably be the easiest thing to do in terms of identifying students to represent student voice on any decisions around uniforms. I will probably need to think about how do we engage or get a younger student on a primary grade, because Junior Beta Club and student government are the older kids, but I think it's important to also get some insight from the younger students as well. And so we need to think about what that looks like. The next piece we have to do, we voted for the uniform and the advisory committee. So now we have to figure out how to fill this portion. So Ms. Brazier, I'll make sure I forward this to you, and then we'll have to talk about like student piece. But I guess we can right now see if there are any parent or any Go Team members who want to be a part of the committee for the uniform. So you're on there already because you're the chair. But are there any at least up to 3 Go Team members for the committee? Any volunteers? And what I
don't mind being on the committee.
Okay. And then
I also just wanted to offer quickly, you mentioned looping in younger kids. I know with, the larger national election discussion, I just feel like it's out in the air everywhere. I know that my first grader has been really interested in voting and like even has been going around aftercare, like making up his own polls, like green versus blue, and then just going around and like polling the other kids to see which color they like better.
I saw it.
Oh, you saw
I
it.
saw one
He
the
told
other
me he's
day.
been hanging with your kids at aftercare. So, so I would say, the younger kids, if you kind of just make it into like a fun voting activity, they could be into it, and they definitely understand voting, and they're very interested in it as a concept. So
okay, we may during the 20-day public comment section maybe have an electronic voting process for the kid to go in and push a vote, like yes or no. We could definitely incorporate that and make it a teachable moment for all the kids around election. So yeah, that's a good idea.
That would be great.
And what I'll also do, Ms. Brazier, is that I will send a link out to the Go Team members to see if there's anybody else who wants to sign up to be a part of the committee for the uniform. So we can get another volunteer to go with you and Ms. Smith.
Okay.
So maybe another staff person or another member who's not here today who may be interested in that.
Is that something appropriate to put out through the PTO to gauge?
I'm trying to read through the thing now. We would have to. we have to determine the parameter. Like if we want to have a parent representative from primary and intermediate, we could decide that in the Go Team meeting and then send it out and say, hey, and then we'd, I guess, come with a process for identifying how we would identify or select the person to represent whatever parent group. So it was something we want to explore because it says that we have could add other members as determined by the Go Team. But looking at the form, it says the Go Team board with 2 committee members have individual with medical background, faith leader, or a role model. We can identify the type of person we want to have on the committee. Or maybe that adding a PTO officer or a member from the foundation, to be as our parent, 3 parent groups could be how we can do that as well. Because I know we have a steering committee meeting coming up, I believe Monday, with all 3 parent groups. And so maybe a chance to, say that a member of the foundation, a member of the Go Team, and a member of the PTO board could be a part of the committee for the uniform resolution. And then they can decide amongst themselves who will be the voice from that group. So do we want to do that? Let's say that we'll have the up to 3 Go Team members, up to 3 students, and then a representative from the PTO and the foundation governing boards.
Yes, I
That
agree
makes
with that.
sense.
Okay, so we need a motion.
All right, so can we get a motion to have 3 Go Team members, 2 students, and additional members for the advisory, school uniform advisory committee?
There's 3 Go Team, 3 students, and
3 students.
a member from the PTO and the
PTO.
foundation board.
Okay. Yes, can we get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
A second?
I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions, please abstain.
All right. So I will send a communication out to the Go Team, the rest of the Go Team, see if there's another volunteer. And then I will send a message out to the foundation as well as the PTO and ask them to identify one person to represent the uniform committee for Benteen. And I'll get those names to you as soon as I get them. And then we'll work on filling this form out.
Okay.
All right. Next on the agenda is a lot easier now, a lot lighter, is the principal's report. So just an update, leveling and the budget adjustment. I know we talked about leveling. So our projected enrollment was 284. As of August 21st, we were at 293. So we were over by 9 students. So we ended up getting an additional $131,971. That is the decrease. They did make adjustments to our leveling reserve and our Title I. And they added in our security grants for safety and security. And so $31,126 from leveling reserve, and the $48,000 that we earned from having students. So for every student we were over projection, we got like $5,000 of change. So with this money that we earned, I'm planning to hire a kindergarten para, a full-time paraprofessional to support the traditional kindergarten classroom. Kindergarten enrollment is the highest it's been since before the pandemic. So we're super excited about that. But we're going to hire a full-time kindergarten para and then purchase additional instruction supplies with the other funds. And then for Title I holdback, and then the money was adjusted, but we're going to use that money to purchase additional instruction supplies. So right now, teachers are sending their wish list for Staples. They have $250 per teacher to order what they want from Staples to help support instruction in their classroom. So we do that this time, and we'll also do that in the spring semester because it's better than me ordering stuff in bulk and they're not using it. So we thought, let them say what you want and order it for them to to make it more practical for them. So that's what we're doing right now with that funding that we have from this money. In summary of changes, it's just one kindergarten paraprofessional and then instructor supplies. And just so you know, this was the enrollment as of 8/23. So pre-K we're at 36, kindergarten 56. So the projection we were over by 18 students in kindergarten, over by 5 in first, second grade mapped out, down by 9 in third grade, down by 7 in fourth grade, up by 2 in fifth grade. This was as of 8/23. As of today, we're at 331. So we've enrolled some more students. So these numbers are slightly different, but we're at 331 for pre-K through fifth grade. For K-5, we're at 295. So we're just 5 students shy of 300, but people are still enrolling. People are still moving into the neighborhood. So super excited about where we're going in terms of that. And so the district is working on a rescheduled date for the event for Leading with Purpose for Go Team Summit. So when we get the information, I'll make sure we send it out. You may get it in your email. So check your email from the Go Team office. They may provide information for you as well through there. Are there any questions about anything I presented today?
The event oh, sorry, Jasmine. Did you go ahead?
No, I was just saying I don't have any questions.
I was just gonna ask the G3 event that is getting rescheduled. What exactly is it? Is it like training or?
It's like a Go Team boot camp to kind of give you extra information about what Go Team is, how it works, how it's structured. I'm trying to see, can I go to my email and see if there's a revised date. I don't see one right now, but it is a chance to kind of build capacity around like knowing how Go Team functions, like, just kind of give you all information about everything Go Team.
Okay, thanks.
They usually do a really good job of putting it together, so it feels, you kind of feel better about, oh, I'm going to Go Team. I know what this really means now. I want to Go Team, so I kind of have fewer questions about I know how this works and how the Go Team supports the overall mission of the school. So, Madam Chair, I'm about to share the agenda again so we can see where we are on the agenda.
I see the cluster advisory team report.
I was there. I don't know. Were you there, Ms. Smith? Is that?
I was there.
Okay. I don't remember. It's been long ago. I feel like I didn't.
It was my first time and I'll admit I didn't totally know what was going on, but they were asking about, there were cluster priorities. I think they were wanting us to review and then provide input, but then there were technical difficulties and our discussion ended up getting cut off before it was complete, I think. So I don't know if the person who had been taking notes, I think, was gonna send what we did manage to discuss over to the folks in the main office, but I'm not sure what the next steps were after that.
I believe that they did finish the information. I was trying to see if I had in my email. If not, I know that one thing we worked on is like, continue to celebrate the Jackson cluster, continue to do more things together. Like we had cluster night, then we'll have a cluster arts night. And so we're trying to do more things as a cluster to kind of build that sense of community amongst all the schools in the Jackson cluster. So I know that's one of the things they were working on. But when I get that information, I don't see it in my email right now, but when I get that information, I will make sure that we push it out. So we'll have it for the next Go Team meeting.
So now we have, does anyone have any announcements?
Yes. Next week is Red Ribbon Week. And so we are celebrating students making good choices. And so we have a number of events planned for the week. I know on Tuesday, we're super excited. We have a Department of Transportation Safe Street Play activity from 2:30 to 3:30 on next Tuesday. It'll be in front of the school on Funkston. So we're gonna block off the street. That's how I'm dating myself, like old time outside play, like jump rope, hula hoop, things that to kind of get kids to be more active, make good choices. We'll have that. We have the NED shows, a motivational mindset group, and we've done it online for the last few years, but because we've been so great with our sales of yo-yos, they're coming in person this year. And so super excited for that experience for our kids. And then next Thursday is our storybook character parade. We have to dress up as our favorite storybook character. And so we'll send information home with the kids tomorrow about that, as well as trunk or treat. So we've done trunk or treat in the gym the last couple of years. And so it's been a huge hit. So parents have a lot of fun decorating, setting up tables. So if you want to be part of that, feel free to come and help set up or sign up. PTO will send some information out. Also, this weekend is the Benteen Park Festival. If you've not been here before, it's a great event for the neighborhood, builds community. It's fun and game. There's a costume competition. I'm judging for it on Saturday afternoon. So tons of fun, like vendors, food, great music. So it's really a relaxed, chill environment. Last year was the first one, the inaugural. So this is the second one. So super excited about that. I believe it's all day Saturday, I believe. I don't have the exact time. Do you have any time for that? Is it pretty much all day?
It's 11 until 6.
11 to 6, okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
We do have, we moved public comment to the next one, correct?
Yeah, just not on
Right.
it's not on this one.
Okay,
I didn't take it off. We'll also share, just FYI, the Thanksgiving lunch this year was moved by the district to an earlier time. So right now it is for kindergarten, 2nd and 4th. It is on the 13th of November. For pre-K, 1st, 3rd, and 5th is on the 14th. We try to split it up because of capacity. But we'll be sending information home about that as well. So you'll kind of start preparing for that because it'll be here before we know it.
Well, we've reached the end of our agenda. Is there any additional business at this time? If not, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
A second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, please raise your hand.
No.
Any abstentions, please raise your hand. If not, meeting is adjourned.
Thank you all. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, thank
Thank you.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.